1, 2, 3, 4. Mike and John got it going on. Mike and John got it going on. Mike and John got it going on. Mike and John got it going on.
Mike and John got it going on. Mike and John got it going on.
Good morning, Bailey.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Fever.
Good morning, Les. And I do mean Les.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Happy Halloween.
Yes.
I thought we were going to start with the lights out.
Oh, well, we're not.
Okay.
We're not.
I'm scared of the dark, John.
So, Les Nessman with the local news, which is coming up
Yes.
soon.
Yes.
You know, local. I got to find it right here. I noticed you have your office taped off. I wish we could get the
Yes,
camera on it,
this is my office area, and I would appreciate it if you would please respect those boundaries. These are the
but
walls.
your chair's kind of rolling out of your
Actually,
office.
in your office.
Oh, yeah.
Bailey.
But I'm here
You know-
because I think you called for a ghost. You had a
Yeah,
ghost in
she's a
your office.
Ghostbuster.
Oh, okay.
Bailey?
Oh, it's okay.
Are we ready to start the Halloween show?
Haven't we already begun it?
It has begun.
Yes.
Mike and John got it going on with guest Cougar.
Yes.
And we'll have Cougar's review coming up in just a little bit. Also, your 2-cent history lesson. We'll be talking about the Radium Girls. You know who they are, don't you?
I do, actually. It's a play, How High School putting that on this coming weekend, and we'll be talking with one of the, actually both of the directors, the co-directors of that production.
They have co-directors too.
Yeah.
Just like us.
Right.
Yeah. And we'll get to our trivia question, sponsored by Tanya Z.
That's right. Her first inaugural trivia.
And yeah, some interesting answers. We'll get to that in just a little bit. Also, 2-cent history coming up. In the meantime, local news brought to you by Cooper and Binkley Jewelers in downtown Brighton.
London, Madrid, Bangkok, Moscow, Cincinnati, from the four corners of the world, from the news capitals at home and abroad, the day's headlines brought into focus, the issues and events that shape our time.
God.
WKRP, Information Beacon of the Ohio Valley, presents Les Nessman and the News.
Okay.
It's the only reason you wanted to be Les Nessman, isn't it? So you could play that.
Yeah. You know, that was a boss news intro. You kidding me?
Well, it kind of rolls out local when you're talking about Bangkok,
Hey now.
Oriental City.
Yes. That's Asian.
That's how it was in the song. You go back to 1983 and
You are-
correct the song.
You are canceled, sir. All right, here's what's actually going on in the news. Citing a lack of funding, the organization that has run Livingston County's only congregate homeless shelter for more than 5 years has announced it will cease operations and dissolve the nonprofit. The unanimous vote by the Severe Weather Network Livingston County Board of Directors was a heart-wrenching decision, and one that they had hoped they could have avoided, according to board co-chair Diane Duncan, who added that less than a quarter of their 450-member volunteer base had committed to volunteering in the past 2 years, and that strained their finances beyond sustainability. The 501c3 nonprofit had provided emergency winter sheltering services in Livingston County since 2016. Prior to that, the county had no congregate homeless shelter. That forced homeless adults to try and obtain a limited amount of government-funded motel vouchers from local service agencies like the Salvation Army and the Oakland Livingston Human Service Agency. The Severe Weather Network will be distributing any remaining funds and assets to local agencies that directly serve the needs of homeless adults. and they advise anyone who is seeking emergency shelter to dial 211 for assistance. Steve Maynor, who resigned last week from Howell City Council, says he has entered hospice care after a 5-year battle with colorectal cancer. Maynor granted an exclusive interview to Gigo News as he looked back over his more than 55 years in the Howell community. Despite his prognosis, Maynor refused to give in to cynicism, saying the things he was thinking about were positive things. Maynor came to Howell as a public school teacher in 1966. He ended up serving in public education for 32 years before retiring in 1998 and then winning a seat on Howell City Council the next year, serving for 23 years. Maynor also was named to be the Grand Marshal of the 2022 Fantasy Lights Parade November 25th, and notwithstanding his condition, he plans to be there. He called it a big honor and said his hospice team had come together and figured out that their job was to keep him alive until the end of November. He said, quote, "Thank you. That's a good goal," end quote. The full interview with Steve Maynor is posted on our website, mikeandjohnpodcast.com. And that's what's going on.
And news brought to you by Cooper and Binkley Jewelers in downtown Brighton, Brighton's preeminent jewelry store with a commitment to customer service, community involvement, honesty, professionalism, and of course, exquisite merchandise. Stop by and see them today. They've got the latest designs from Simon G. Also, new offerings from Zagani. Check out their Facebook page. You can find out more. Also, stop by the store downtown Brighton or online at cooperandbinkleyjewelers.com.
New Zagani, huh?
New Zagani, yes. It almost sounds like New Zagani. New
Well, if it was news, I'd be on top of it, Dr.
Yes,
Fever.
You certainly would. So we'll get to our trivia guesses and answers in just a couple of minutes. But one of the new features we have here, when Susan is here, is Cougar's Review.
Yes.
Do you have a theme song for that?
No. I
Like
don't.
it's the new Cougar Review
Oh, yeah.
coming right at you.
Is that the new zoo review that
Okay.
you're
Yeah,
saying?
kinda.
So
Oh,
I'll
my
work-
God.
I stole
I'll work
that.
on it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. All right, so what's your review?
Anyway, so I've been watching the show 911. It's on Monday evenings.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. To me, shows lately have been, especially shows like this, whether it be hospital settings or crime solving or whatever. To me, it's getting gross. Like stuff they show on TV
Really?
is not necessary.
They do show a lot more than you really want to
Yeah.
see.
And especially a lot of times I'll watch it like I'm laying in bed. I'm starting to, settle down, and then they show like a corpse or a, shot to the head or something, and I'm like, all right, now I'm
Blood
awake
and
for
guts
a while.
flowing all over the place. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was just really impressed with the show from day one. It's got a little bit of everything. It's got like humor. Their one-liners are hilarious. There's romance. I know you don't care about that. But
Well, there's some drama in there too.
Who says we don't care
We
about
love
romance? Just
Romance
because
isn't
he's
dead.
just because he's a tombstone and I'm a sexless nerd doesn't mean we don't like romance.
Sure.
yeah. Anyway.
So wait a minute. 911 is the one with the ghost whisperer in there, right?
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah, Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah.
Way to go back 20 years.
and Angela Bassett, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Very,
Okay.
very good.
And who are the male cast members, Mike?
Just a bunch of guys that dress up like firefighters, John.
Got
They
it.
are. They're not famous yet, but
No, they're
gonna
not.
be. They're gonna be.
Got
It is a good show.
Yeah,
I
it's
watched
a
two. I
very
haven't.
good show.
I've got like 5 in the hopper that have been recorded, but I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, so it's on Monday nights at 8 o'clock. So check it out. They also play the earlier seasons on one of those channels.
Are you getting paid for this?
Getting some free Hulu,
Yeah,
are
what's-
you?
What's going on here? You get Peacock or
Bing!
what?
What
I just got my deposit.
what channel is that on, by the way? What network?
It's on
CBS.
Fox.
Oh, it's
It is.
Fox.
It
Yes,
is
Fox.
You don't watch? Do you watch the Houston one? It's
I
Lone
don't,
Star.
because that's
surprised.
another one.
You can't
that-
keep up with these.
It's got Rob Lowe on it. Come on, I figured you'd be all over that one.
No.
911 Wichita. Just them sitting around. Well, no one's calling.
There's a hay fire.
That's right.
We got us a hay fire in the barn. It was a prom gone
Yeah.
wild in the barn in Wichita.
In
Yeah.
Wichita, yes.
All right.
All right.
So you give thumbs up to 911.
Okay, good.
Absolutely.
It's kind of got everything for you.
Kind of got everything,
Yeah.
and not the gore. It's a good before bedtime show to watch.
Okay, just let that go. Let it go.
What's next, Les?
Well, I believe it's time for us to talk about Tanya Z and the trivia.
Tanya Z has trivia?
Yes.
Oh, yes, she does.
She is sponsoring it.
Yes, she is.
Sold by Tanya Z.
Yes, our question in Sunday Night Trivia, brought to you by Tanya Z and sold by Tanya Z. According to researchers, this is the number one thing that increases worker productivity. It's not Death Wish coffee, as somebody had suggested.
Mm.
Have you ever had Death Wish coffee?
I've seen it, but it doesn't.
I haven't had it
doesn't,
either. Just coffee in general.
Yeah, I
That
like
could
coffee, but I don't.
Produce the. You have your special mug, right?
I do. I have my
Spider-Man is turned into glass.
WKRP mug. Thank you very much.
That's another radio station coffee mug, wait to be found at a Salvation Army store near you. Other answers: recognition, doing one task at a time. It's kind of hard for me to move, so maybe you could assist, Les.
What do you need? Oh,
Some of
you
the
want
answers.
I don't know.
You have it right in front
I'm
of you.
working on the news out of Bangkok.
No,
Do
you're
you mind?
You got the latest Bangkok news?
I got to delete my browsing history.
On site. On site just one day at the workplace. So get more work done. A raise might get more work done, more productive.
I saw while you were adjusting your tombstone.
Yeah.
I saw,
I was adjusting my
Could you
stone.
please do that in private, sir?
What did you see
There's
while I
a
was
lot
adjusting?
of adjusting going on in here. The daycare.
Oh, yeah, on-site daycare.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
That would be huge.
that would be.
I mean,
huge.
right.
Well, that way you could get stuff done while somebody else watches your kids.
Right.
Absolutely.
But, you know.
That's expensive. Any other great guesses?
Drew Goebel, by the way, one of our sponsors. Did you mention his answer?
I did not.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, Les.
The beatings will continue until morale improves.
That is one
That's
way.
a tough workplace.
Yeah. So,
Get a better morale. Whack. Gotcha.
he alternatively then answered, well, appreciation. He kind of went both sides of the
Yes.
street on that one.
The actual answer was,
Yeah.
and some people got recognition in the form of a compliment from the boss. A compliment from the boss.
Mm.
I was trying to think the last time. We don't really have a boss here, do we?
Well, the big guy, of course. Mr. Carlson.
The big guy.
Hello.
Well, the big guy.
Yeah.
I thought it was Egon.
Oh, yes. You know, we have not adequately, by the way, shown off your costume, which we'll do in a second. We'll finish this, but okay.
A compliment from the boss was the answer. I think we finished that.
Did we?
What do you think about the last time you got a compliment from the boss?
It's been a long time
John had hair,
here.
and my
that
hair
I've
was
gotten
darker.
A compliment. Boss man.
You know, I could still have hair. But, there.
Yeah, that'd look better as a soul patch. Just saying. There you go. You could have been Colonel Sanders.
Now I look like Colonel Sanders.
An evil Colonel Sanders.
Hey, it's a dual costume.
Yeah, look at you. Because if only you had the bolo tie.
Yeah.
All right,
Is that
so, yeah, he had the bow tie. No, he had a bow tie.
Yeah, he did.
But it had the one, the
It had-
tails that
yeah, it
hung
was-
down.
Yeah, it was a
You know, it was a Kentucky Colonel, after all. You know what a Kentucky Colonel is?
Yeah, I was just talking about that. All of a sudden, you try to do some type of Southern accent.
Kentucky Colonel. By the way, all of the the first correct guessers in each day this week
Yes.
I believe, are going to be eligible for a
Bucket of chicken?
They will be eligible for a lovely treat that will be provided by Tanya Z.
Yes.
Very nice.
Now we know. That's what John believes.
Yeah.
I'll have to go through and figure out who had the right answer first. I'll do that after the show.
Right.
Feeling a little stiff right now.
All right.
You like my costume, do you?
From Bangkok to feeling stiff. All right. Well, there we go. I think we know where your mind's at.
Let's see Susan's
Yes.
Ghostbusters
we've hidden
costume.
your costume away here. I think you know. You're probably more than, well, easily more than the two of us idiots. You've got a nice costume here. Why don't you, if you don't hear, let's just.
Here, okay, here we go. We gotta add the music. Can they hear that? I even got my equipment.
Oh,
I'm ready.
so does that?
What do they call that thing with
yeah.
the box? The
Yeah, it captures the ghost. I take it home with me.
and watch 911.
And watch 911
Well,
before
yeah.
I go to bed.
Very good. Which Ghostbuster are you?
Susan.
You didn't see that one?
I'm the
There was
new
the
edition.
yeah, there was
Did
the
you-
one with the
did you see
female
the
Ghostbusters.
female one?
Yeah.
Oh,
The newest edition?
I don't like that one. No.
I didn't like that one either.
I don't
That's
like
why I
that
didn't
one.
see it.
I'm joining the original team.
Okay.
Yeah.
The OGs
Yes.
of the team. Speaking of OGs, John, you know who our OG is? Our OG sponsor. I mean, Les, I'm sorry.
Yeah, excuse me.
Our
I was
OG
like,
sponsor.
I'm not Johnny Fever. Are you Venus Flytrap?
Not today, John.
It's Firehouse
I didn't want to
Doors.
dress up like that for probably
Well,
obvious reasons.
That would have been that would have been interesting. Talk about canceled. Firehouse Doors has been serving Livingston County residents for the past 24 years. Family owned, they strive to treat each customer like family, and veteran owned. Mike Witt, a proud U.S. Air Force veteran. Firehouse Doors, your one-stop shop for residential, commercial, and rolling steel overhead door needs. And for the past 21 years, Firehouse Doors has been Livingston County's only authorized distributor for CHI overhead doors. Call Firehouse Doors today, 810-599-7480.
Well done, Les, with the news.
I am the news director, after all.
Yes, you are. Do you want to show your
And
award, too?
I am the winner of the Silver Sow Award. So, I think you have to give me props. I mean, literally give me the props.
What's on the back of your Silver Sow Award?
What do you mean? This is the Silver Sow Award. I don't know what you're referring to. Yeah. For our podcast audience, by the way, you'll have to refer to me. This is a video-centric episode, so you may.
Yeah, because otherwise we
Yeah.
could have made up our total costumes as being something
Oh yeah, so,
totally
I'm
off.
just like Godzilla.
He's got the little
Yeah.
T-Rex arms too. So, all right. So coming up in just a little bit, we'll talk to Amanda Mallow and Ella Stocker, who are co-directors in the Howell High School production of Radium Girls. We'll also get to our 2-cent history lesson, which, by the way, today is Halloween. I don't know if you guys knew that or not.
What?
It's October 31st, Halloween.
Interesting.
You have any great Halloween stories, Susan? Do you ever- any fun ones from when you were a kid?
I remember dressing up as a baby. You know, had those footy one-piece
Oh, yeah.
comfy pajamas, you know. And
People did that all during COVID, and it wasn't Halloween.
exactly.
Put on their onesies and laid around and watched TV.
Yeah, but I walked around. I actually had a plastic baby bottle, and had orange juice and vodka in it.
Well.
How old were you?
Young.
You know, as the mayor's daughter, you have a reputation to
I
uphold.
know. It was just orange juice
Yeah, it's just orange juice.
for hydration.
Well, yeah, of course.
It's Increase Your Psychic Powers Day today, too, by the way.
Nice. I'm gonna be busy then.
Never really got into the psychic thing, but I do remember the psychic hotlines of the late 80s and
yeah.
early 90s.
With
Okay.
Dionne Warwick.
Yeah.
And,
Sylvia Brown, wasn't that a
I
famous
remember that
one?
name. There was
Yeah.
Mama Cleo, or
Oh, yeah.
was it
Mama
Mama
Cleo.
Cleo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Miss Cleo?
I forgot. Yeah, it was something. I'll look that up.
You might want to do that because my mobility is really tight.
I see
today.
that. Yeah, Miss Cleo.
Miss Cleo, that's right. Miss
Who
Cleo.
has-
Didn't she end up in jail?
Who has
Or she revived her career?
who has
as
since
a-
passed away, so
Oh,
her
did
career
she?
is.
Oh,
Well.
she should have saw
Now
that
she's in the
coming.
great beyond, and so I'm sure she's sending messages
If we
back.
turn off the light, you think she'll talk to us?
What if I-
We could try.
Yeah, here we go. Miss
Oh.
Cleo.
Oh, you know, maybe we should have done the show.
Yeah, I told you.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
What
look
we
at
got?
that. Can you read my marker? My tombstone?
Yeah. Stop showing off your tombstone. How many times have you been told?
My,
Stop that.
what a
That's
big
a nice,
tombstone you have.
starting to crack a little bit. It's also National Caramel Apple Day. I've never been a fan of caramel apples. I know a
I
lot of people
love
like
them.
those, but
Mm-mm.
you know, I'm gonna eat my caramel, and then maybe eat my apple.
I might dip
No.
in the caramel, but when
Oh,
they-
I see. Like you're already
You got
sliced.
sliced and you just dip it in. That's
Yeah.
fine. But
No. Caramel
don't-
apples are the bomb.
Now, do you have them with nuts?
Yeah.
The nuts on them
Sometimes.
too.
I prefer not.
see, but you buy the kind where the caramel's hardened, where it's like as opposed to the softer caramel.
Yeah, but it's
That
not,
you dip.
it's not hard like it's cracking when you bite it.
Sometimes.
No.
Maybe it's last
If it was
year's.
last
Not
year's
supposed to
caramel
be
apple.
like that. Yeah.
I never bombed for apples myself. Anybody?
Yeah, when I was a
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this was like. Okay,
I think you do
I
that
don't
once
really-
or twice, and
don't
you just
really want an apple
go.
that bad. Sorry.
I really don't need to stick my head in this barrel of water.
That 75 other students have already done too.
I can just go to the store and buy an apple.
Well, that was long before, people worried about germs and stuff.
Sure. It's also National Magic Day.
Ooh,
National Magic Day.
on Halloween. That's interesting.
Well, that makes sense.
Did you ever do any magic tricks? Anybody get that kit
No.
in the mail?
No, the only thing I sent away for in the back of Boy's life was those X-ray glasses.
And how'd they work for you?
Yeah, you know.
Boy's
That was a magic trick. It took my money.
And it's just money disappeared just like that. I had a deck of cards that was, I think, half all kings of hearts. So it was one of those decks you could buy on TV. I think Marshall Brodeen was the guy who hawked them on Channel 50. The magic trick. You could
Right.
pick a
Pick
card,
a
any
card.
card. Oh, it's the king of hearts. So are the others. That's all I got as far as magic goes. Do we want to get to the 2-cent history lesson before our phone call?
Yeah, no, we got plenty of time. Yeah.
We got plenty of time?
Yeah.
Nothing but time, he says.
Nothing but time.
All right. 2-cent history lesson for this Halloween, October 31st, is brought to you by Drew Goebel and Oakland Insurance. Drew can scare you, too.
And you can see that in the pictures he sent us of his home.
Is that
Which-
Drew's home or just some of the ones he's been insuring?
I don't
You can
know.
insure
Did
your
he-
Halloween decorations.
I'm not quite
Did you
sure.
ever
but-
soap somebody's windows, John?
No,
I
sir.
mean, Les?
No, sir. I didn't do
ever,
that.
Ever TP somebody's tree?
Of course
I've
not.
done that.
You've done
No.
the TP thing?
All right, yeah.
I did my own house one time.
Nice.
I never TP'd
I was
a
mad
house.
at the mayor.
Oh, did the mayor not give out good candy?
Blame it on somebody else. Must have been your somebody who was running against you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
exactly.
No, we got busted soaping windows across the street. Had to go scrape the soap off the windows the next day.
Mm.
And this is the funny part: the house that we soaped, it was this older lady and her adopted daughter, and her adopted daughter would babysit us when we were kids, and she'd eat all our food. So we thought it'd be funny to soap their windows.
Oh, of course.
So we soaped the windows, and they must have saw us because we weren't the brightest kids in the neighborhood. We just ran back home across the street. And then we had to scrape the windows. It was after school, and of course, it starts to get dark earlier. And I'm on a box, on a step stool, scraping with a razor blade this side window of the house, which probably was a bathroom window at the time. And all of a sudden, this lady looked out the window and scared the crap out of me because she had gray hair. She's older. It was almost like seeing a corpse as I'm scraping the soap off the window. So never soaped windows after that.
Mm. You learned your lesson.
Yes.
Do not look into bathroom windows where old ladies live. Lessons learned.
Is that really a lesson you had to learn?
The hard way, John.
Okay.
The hard way.
Yeah.
Oh, we're back to the 2-cent history lesson,
at
which is
some
brought to you
point,
by Drew
yeah.
Goebel.
Right.
Are we showing the pictures?
Yeah, I already did.
Oh.
At Michigan-based Frankenmuth Insurance and Oakland Insurance. Call Drew Goebel, 248-647-2500.
It was on this day in 1885, John Boyd Dunlop, Belfast, Ireland, patented the first pneumatic bicycle tire. The tire company he founded still bears his name. Dunlop.
Okay.
Said Dunlop on those. 1926, the world famous escapologist You didn't know they had a name for it when you're an escaper. Harry Houdini passed away. Not trying to escape anything.
All right. In Detroit, he
his
got
appendix
punched in the gut,
Oh, really?
and his appendix burst. He later died. Yeah, in Detroit. After a show, a young man came back, and he was supposedly Houdini could take a punch because but the legend goes that before he could tense his core muscles, the kid punched him and caused that damage, and he died. I think a couple days later. So,
on Halloween.
well, Detroit, we got that going for us.
1941.
Yeah, we killed Houdini. We should sell those T-shirts. Detroit, we killed Houdini.
1941, Mount Rushmore was completed on this day. Nobody knows where the chisels are at this moment, do they?
They're probably hanging in some museum. I don't know.
Some guy's garage somewhere.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's Mount Rushmore.
The interesting thing about
Finally
Mount
finished it.
Rushmore,
I thought they were going to add Trump to it, though, weren't they?
well,
that's what he said.
yeah. When you
That's
go
what he
there, and you go to, have you ever been to Mount Rushmore?
I have not.
Yeah. Susan?
No.
Yeah. If you go there, you see it's beautiful, wonderful. Okay, you see all oh my God, that's amazing. And down below are all the rocks and everything that they chiseled off the mountain, and it's kind of a mess at the bottom.
They didn't clean up
You're
after
sort of like,
themselves?
what the hell, people?
No shop vac?
I mean, don't you got to clean up?
Those are collectibles.
I guess.
This is a piece of Washington's
It
eyes.
seems like you might want to clean up after yourself. All right.
It was on this day in 1950. Rear Admiral G.J. Dufek.
Sure.
Dufek.
Say
Whoa,
that.
Dufek became the first person to land an airplane at the South Pole.
Oh, okay.
He was the rear admiral.
Well, insert joke here.
So,
literally.
John is going to tell us the difference between an admiral and a rear admiral.
Rear Admiral's not active duty.
I see. So what was he doing in that plane going to the South Pole?
I mean, they're like, yeah, we got to give this guy something to do. Yeah, go land a plane at the South Pole. I mean, someone's like, go play in the street. Somebody probably said, yeah, go land a plane at the South Pole. Yes, sir.
Here we go. 1979, Michelle Phillips of the Mamas and the Papas married Dennis Hopper.
And how long that lasts?
About 8 days.
Okay, well, it's not
8
bad.
days. Yeah. 1999. It's a sad day. Gary Sharon left Van Halen. Nobody cared that he was in Van Halen. I don't think they had any hits when he was in
I
Van
think
Halen.
Van Halen would prefer
that
to
that
forget
time never
that
happened.
Gary Sharon
That
was in
didn't
Van Halen.
happen.
Yeah.
That was an
Poor Gary
episode of
Sharon.
911.
And Gary Sharon was a pretty good singer. It's just that didn't work out.
He didn't really fit.
Yeah, it didn't.
It's
Was he
important
with-
to be a good fit.
Wasn't he with Extreme? Gary
Yeah,
Sharon?
yeah.
Okay, just
Absolutely.
check.
By the way, this just in a correction. Rear Admiral actually is a active duty admiral. They're the admirals that are at the back of a fleet. You got the main
Well,
admiral.
yeah, that's
at the
why
front.
he's in the rear.
Exactly.
Not good
But-
enough to be up front.
Well, the thing was, is they used to call them. His post is at the rear of the fleet, so instead of calling him the vice admiral, they said we're going to go with rear admiral.
Vice.
I don't know what. I still think they could have probably poll tested that a little bit and maybe come up with something better. But yeah, that's there you go.
Way to be accurate, Les.
He was the least important of the flag officers.
Oh, that's not very.
He or she. I mean,
Yeah.
there's female rear admirals now. So
Why they gotta point that out? That's not nice.
it is kind of a backhanded guy. We're appointing you the rear admiral. You're the least important of this rank. Congratulations.
Could you get demoted to rear admiral?
I think I would like vice admiral better.
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
if you were the vice rear
You know.
or the rear vice
or the assistant to the admiral or something?
the rear ass,
I'm the admiral assistant.
the backup admiral?
There you go.
And finally, it was on this day in 2018, the world's biggest statue, the Statue of Unity. You know where that's at?
Is it Brazil?
No, it's in India.
Oh, okay.
It was unveiled in India.
You even said that.
The statue itself
Where is that now?
in India,
Right.
some city that I'm not going to try and destroy, 182 meters tall, which is equivalent to a 50-story building,
Right. Well,
4 times the height of the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Unity. That's your 2-cent history lesson.
Brought to you by Drew Goebel of Oakland Insurance. Give him a call today, 248-647-2500. The best relationships are honest, upfront, and fair when it comes to insurance, and that's what Drew Goebel at Oakland Insurance will give you. Give them a call again, 248-647-2500. And being Monday, as we have been doing the last few weeks, our partnership with Orchard's Children's Services, we want to highlight a different youth, a foster kid who's looking for a forever home. This week, it's Jeremiah. He's a 16-year-old who loves sports, especially basketball. He also loves swimming and professional wrestling. He's very sweet and helpful. He loves to play games. And being a 16-year-old, he enjoys eating. So if you, maybe could give Jeremiah that forever home, or any of the children that Orchard's Children's Services works with, give them a call. You can find out more information, and you'll find details on our Facebook page.
That's MikeandJohnPodcast.com on our website, too.
Absolutely.
In case you want to go to our website.
We have a new feature on our website.
We do.
We do.
It's so new that only John knows about it. That's how new it is.
That's how new it is.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Tell us, John.
You can now subscribe to get a daily email of Gigo news stories delivered right to your email with links
That is awesome.
and details.
You don't even have to get out of bed to get your news.
Wow.
Got it going on in bed.
I don't. Why should you? So, so go to MikeandJohnPodcast.com. You'll find the link there. You can sign up and just have the news delivered right to your email.
Critics are saying that rocks, John. That's what they're saying.
Are they?
Well, yeah, they are.
Sure. Okay.
I'm a critic and I just said it.
Well, you have a lot of critics.
Coming up, a local story. We'll get to that right after this.
Hi, this is Jerry Millen, longtime Livingston County resident and owner of the Greenhouse of Walled Lake. Brighton City residents, you're being lied to. Check out BrightonTruth.com. We'd like to bring a greenhouse medical facility to Brighton and give patients safe access. We're asking Brighton residents to vote yes on a medical marijuana facility being allowed in Brighton. Please check out BrightonTruth.com. The Reefer Madness Group, they're lying to you. See the truth. BrightonTruth.com.
Discover the truth at BrightonTruth.com.
All right.
We're back, John.
Yeah, I know that. That's why I said all right.
We're calling Amanda Malo.
I figured.
Good morning.
Good morning, Amanda. It's Mike and John and Susan from Mike and John Got It Going On.
Good morning. How are you?
We're good. How are you? We're talking to Amanda Malo, of course, the drama instructor at Howell High School, and one of the directors for the upcoming production of Radium Girls. And you've got your co-director there, correct?
I do. I have Ella Stocker, who has co-directed this production with me.
Now, Amanda, you've done shows before where you've had a student co-director. So tell us about how that all comes about.
I've been fortunate. Ella has been part of this program. Actually, when were you a Munchkin? Fourth grade. In fourth grade, she was a Munchkin when we did Wizard of Oz. And then in ninth grade, she got involved kind of assistant stage managing, and was just such a pro at it that I wanted to make sure her senior year, kind of her last hurrah, she had a challenge. She had more to do. So I asked her if she was interested, and she jumped at the chance.
So, Ella, talk about being a co-director on the show, what that involves for you, and, trying to juggle that with being a full-time student.
Yeah, it's a lot more work. I find myself having more fun, though. Like, I get to be a little bit more hands-on with the experience. And it's always fun to boss around my friends.
I was just going to say, you went from the Munchkin to the boss.
Yeah, not bad.
So how do your fellow students take that? I mean, are they receptive to you as a student being kind of a boss?
Yeah, so since my freshman year, I've just been kind of building more responsibility, and they're always good about respecting the student help, which is always great.
So let's talk about Radium Girls, and this is going to be taking place November 4th, 5th, and 6th at the Rod Bushy Performing Arts Center, and this is based on a true story, correct?
Correct. That is correct.
So walk us through what the story's about. What are people, if they come out and see Radium Girls, what are they going to be learning about?
So Radium Girls, yeah, like you said, it's based on a true story. It follows three girls, Grace, Catherine, and Irene, and their struggle with the U.S. Radium Corporation as they start getting sick from radium poisoning. Act 2 shows their court case, and then in the end, you kind of learn what came from.
And it's
it's interesting. I had never heard of this story. When we think about women going to work during the war, we obviously think of Rosie the Riveter, World War II, but during World War I, a lot of really young girls went to work in these plants, and they were painting watch dials with this radium paint, and they were told, in order to kind of preserve the paint, put the paintbrush in your mouth, to kind of come to a fine tip. And they, 15, 16, they did it, but then they started to get sick. And so, as Ella said, the company denied any wrongdoing, and they kind of had to take them to court. And it really, the results of their case put in a lot of safety standards that we have today.
Well, and as you noticed, or as you mentioned there, Amanda, it's kind of it was a lost story in history. It's a significant story, and it was kind of lost, and so this production sort of helps bring this back into the public view.
That's what we hope. It's just our history with this is we actually signed up to do this January 2020, and then we had the lockdown. And when we started to come back, we kind of had to reevaluate if it was the right time. And what we really discovered that now is the right time. We went through this pandemic, and at the end of this play, one of the lines is the president of the corporation says, I never saw their faces. I never saw these girls' faces. And so we looked at it as all these people that went to work while a lot of us stayed home, and we don't know who they are. Like, we never saw their faces. So we were really excited to do it. And just please excuse the Pledge of Allegiance in the background.
No, that's okay. Should we stand? Hold on. All right, everybody.
We got to stand up.
We're going to stand here while you play that.
Well, we are. And there's some announcements, so there we go.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
I think we can step out in the hall,
Oh,
though.
no, that's
maybe,
okay.
to get away from a speaker.
Are they going to read the lunch menu?
I don't think you want to hear it.
It could be your next play. What's in today's lunch?
Well, it is Halloween, so it's nice to have something kind of scary.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It sort of is in keeping with the theme of the day. But again, Radium Girls. So Ella, talk about the cast.
The cast is fantastic. A lot of the leads are my friends who are seniors and juniors, and we have some great talent coming in from the middle schools as ninth graders, just being a little bit smaller roles, but they're great to work with.
We are actually fortunate, too. We have an 8th grader from Highlander Way, and, oh, dear, I think she's at Southwest. Is that right?
Yes,
is that a thing? Yeah. So, we're trying to get a nice age cross here.
Yeah, so you've got, elementary, sounds like elementary, middle, and high school, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's awesome. So you're going to get the whole district represented.
The thing is, it's a pretty serious topic too. I mean, when I hear the plot of the play and based on a true story too, you think of like Aaron Brockovich and maybe Silkwood, those kind of things. So the play taking on some serious notes, but any other notes on the play to share with us?
What's really been great is that both our history and our science teachers are excited about this one because, it's a nice cross-curricular. And I'm just excited that, once we read the script, you go, how did I not know about this? How did I not know this story? And so it's just so important. And we've really, although it's a serious topic, we've enjoyed getting to learn about it. And we're really excited to share it.
All right, awesome. And again, it's at the Rod Bushy Performing Arts Center this weekend, November 4th and 5th at 7 p.m., and then November 6th at 2 p.m. Tickets are $12 for adults, $10 for students and seniors, and they can be purchased online. We'll put the link up on our Facebook page. It can also be purchased at the door. And we have a pair of tickets to give away, correct, Amanda?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So what we're going to do.
What are we going to do, John?
I don't know. I'm thinking of it right now. It's literally coming to me now as I think about it.
Is it really?
Yes, that's why I'm putting my fingers together like this. All right, so here's what we're going to do.
What are we going to do?
Here's what we're going to do. Let me say.
I was giving you pause time.
Okay. This is called dramatic pause.
Yes, it is.
Amanda. And Ella, you may want to take a note of this for your next
What's
production.
he going to do? Dun, dun, dun.
All right. The first person to go to our Facebook page, Mike and John Got It Going On, and post there.
How about the word radium?
There you go.
How about that? You have to spell it correctly.
Yeah, you have to spell it correctly.
Hopefully spell
Right.
check helps you out.
Right. So, yes, this was a team effort, as you could tell, Amanda.
Yeah, I can see you guys all working this.
Quite a cast we have put together here. So,
Without
yes.
a director, too, Ella. We might need you.
I don't know if you can afford it, though.
No, well, all right, so go to the Mike and John Facebook page. Mike and John Got It Going On. The first person to post Radium. We will make sure you're set up with a pair of tickets to go see Radium Girls this weekend at the Rod Bushy Performing Arts Center. And Amanda Malo, drama teacher at Howell High School, and Ella Stocker, co-director of the production. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us on.
Absolutely.
Have
Anytime.
a wonderful Halloween.
Same to you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Richter and Associates Property Management, licensed real estate brokers, rental property experts in Livingston, Genesee, and Oakland counties with 40-plus years in the business, located in downtown Howell. You can go online and find them. Susan?
RICHTERASSOC.com.
Yeah, it's RichterAssociates.com. It's just become second place now. People are just walking around just saying it off the top of their head now. RICHTERASSOC.com.
Or singing it.
Yeah. Hey, you got a song?
RICHTERASSOC.com.
Oh, I see. All right, you can get that going.
That was almost like the Oscar Mayer theme.
I was thinking that, too. The number to call out for Richter and Associates Property Management, 517-540-9560.
You know, when I came into the podcast headquarters here today without my rock on, I was like,
Did you get it
So
off?
he got it when he got it here. So one of us is making his day.
well, it's not Les Nessman. Okay, so anyway, I walked in. I was looking to see if there was like the bowl of Halloween treats.
Oh, no, those are all hidden. Are you
They're
kidding me?
hidden? Did they
I asked
have
my
them
wife
in
last
there,
night, I
too?
go, by the way, do we have any Halloween candy? Because I haven't seen it. Not that I've been looking or scouring through the cabinets and ripping things apart.
He even cut his head
Last
doing
year
so.
she had it
Yeah.
here.
She probably buried it somewhere in the backyard. I think we have like 12 pounds of candy. Is what she
Wow,
said.
you got a lot
Whoa.
of candy.
I think 12 pounds. Something like that.
Wow.
Like 3-4 pound bags.
I haven't bought candy. I usually buy it, the day or two before, because of that same reason. You don't want to eat the candy before it's time to hand it out.
Right.
If I do buy it, I buy candy that I don't like. But my wife went to
So
the
you
store
get- you
yesterday,
get
and she's
tea-
like, I was at Meijer and Walmart, and I couldn't find any Halloween candy.
This is what happens.
They've
when
already
you
got
wait.
the Christmas
Yeah,
stuff out.
Right. You wait too long.
Yeah. Oh, I said turn the lights out and
Oh.
act like you're not home.
Okay.
But we did end up getting
So when you're tomorrow when your house is TP,
Right.
I'll look for the mayor's daughter.
we know you're in there.
I see you hiding behind the couch.
I see the blue light from Jeopardy on in the
That's right.
background. We know you're there.
We know you're watching 911 in there.
So, but everybody have a safe and happy Halloween.
Absolutely.
Yes, for sure.
And as you're on the road, watch out for the kids, of course, as they trick or treat, especially when you go into some of those residential areas.
And the Boonie people, too.
And watch out for them,
I
too.
was going to
Watch
come up with a
out.
Boonie
Yeah.
people costume, but they were all taken.
But if you are driving around and your vehicle needs maintenance, of
If
course,
it's
Murphy's...
clunking like it's haunted,
Yeah, exactly.
The
If you have a
tires.
haunted vehicle, that sound that you're like, what the hell is
your
that?
Dunlop tires are lopping.
You can call Murphy's Family Auto at 517-552-3040 and play the sound for them over the phone.
Yeah, you can.
And maybe they'll diagnose it right there.
See, now I've done that before when I was having car trouble. I said this doesn't happen all the time. When I went to start the car and there was a real weird whine, I turned my phone on and caught it on audio. So
Right.
therefore, I could play it for the folks at Murphy's if I needed to.
You know-
or I could just play it over and over just for the fun of it.
Oh, wow, that's...
But if you need repairs, it's a good idea to do that.
Yeah. So Murphy's Family Auto, you can go online, murphysfamilyauto.com. And, of course, Glenn at Murphy's Family Auto, we did mention, I think last week at one point, that he has one of the Mike and John trucker hats. And indeed, he sent us a picture.
He did?
Yes. of
Let's
him
see.
in his Mike and John trucker hat. So,
Nice.
yes. So very good.
Love it.
Everybody's going to want one.
Oh, God, they're collector's items.
Everybody wants one.
Uh-oh. Here
You
comes
want
Van.
one,
Uh-oh.
too.
It's Gary Sharon again. So, take us out, Susan.
Everybody needs one. Baby, how about you?
Oh boy.
I heard that on Wimmy when I was listening to the radio in the 80s.
Mike and John got it going on. You've been giggling with Mike and John and Cougar. Tune in next time and giggle on.
All right.
Wow, that was exhausting.
Yeah, it was.
I think you should stand so that.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe that'll be our post-show as we get a full view of your costume.
Here, I'll move my microphone out of the way.
Hey, now.
There we go.
right.
So, and notice how my tombstone is starting to crumble. It's kind of...
You're cracked.
Yeah, it's
We all knew.
endured a lot over, well, especially the past 5 years.
Oh,
My tombstone.
yeah.
That's about when it started to
Crumbling.
get sick before it died.
The tombstone.
The tombstone.
Right, of course. Yeah, I mean, it's-
that's what the grave.
I mean, it
markers
used to be
for.
solid.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was solid.
solid as a rock.
And then, the people that were in charge of caretaking for
Yeah.
it just let it go.
They did.
And the tombstone just started crumbling.
I don't know why I'm doing this. I gotta get out.
Yeah, you do. Get out.